Hello, happy Wednesday, my peaceful and profitable entrepreneurs. So glad to be here. Let me know how your week is going. It's beautiful here in Charleston. We just went to Hilton Head for a few days. It was very fun. So this is kind of my Monday. So it's kind of like this weird feeling when you take off the beginning of the week and you have to come back. Like we were there Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So it worked out because the girls didn't have camp this week. So now we're back and they don't have camp. So my husband took them for a little while to hang out because I had a bunch of meetings this morning. But let me know how your summer's going. I think some people might still be in school, but we are in full swing for the summer. So today we're talking about 2 strategies you need to steal to increase your revenue this week. If you are here, please say hi, ask questions, leave comments. I'm always doing giveaways. So we will be giving away my freebie masterclass about how I pay myself 10K months. So it's 5 questions that you can steal. So I pay myself at least $10,000 each month. We are in June and I am up to $17,000 in my 401k. So I'm really excited about that. So I'm doing all these things and really pay myself 5 figures consecutively. And so I want to be able to support you to do that. And so the masterclass giveaway is just a thing that, a thank you for being here, and want to make sure you have that so that you can make your own 5-figure, 10K, whatever figure months you want. So we've got that. Today is really great. We did one recently about how you can book clients this week or in the next 10 days or something. And so this one is kind of a little bit different. It's a different conversation, but I really feel like it's a good one to have. As you know, or maybe you don't know, but we are growing. We've booked a few one-to-one clients recently. We are getting full. It's so exciting. And so I'm doing these strategic planning sessions with my clients. And something, we typically are talking about is increasing revenue, because if you want to increase profit, you typically need to increase revenue. You can only decrease your expenses a certain amount. And so a lot of clients, a lot of business owners come in and, they think the ways to, increase revenue are to like create new offers or raise their prices or, just like try to do the next thing or the next algorithm, hack the algorithm or get on the next platform, like all these things. And it really can be so much more simple than that. We can waste actually a lot of time by always creating new things, or we can raise our prices so that it really blocks a lot of people out or that we're uncomfortable with, and we don't know if that's, we can provide that value, and so we stop ourselves from selling. So I want to give y'all some real examples today and some strategies. And again, let me know if you have questions. I want this to be applicable to your business. So we'll go ahead and jump in. Always like to go through my framework of mindset, strategy, organize, implement. So the mindset piece, first of all, is that we typically think we're missing the next thing. We typically think that we need to increase our revenue by doing something different than we're already doing. We think that we're missing out on something. Our prices aren't high enough. Our offer isn't good enough. We need to change something. And so if we could just get our hands on that secret or get our hands on what that is, we would just have a massively successful business. And that's just not what I have seen to be true. The businesses that are making multi-6, 7-figure businesses that we have as clients come from doing the same thing. We tend to overcomplicate business and we spin our wheels to do all these things, and we actually lose momentum by doing that and thinking that there's something else we need to do, something new that we need to create, some new strategy we need to implement. Like we really make our results slower and stagnant and waste time and money and energy doing that. I'll use myself as an example. In a good way. I actually, and I've talked about this before, double my revenue. Like every month in 2023, we're doubling revenue from 2022, but my offer is the same, y'all. Like I have a free call, I have an intensive, I have one-to-one. My one-to-one pricing has actually stayed the same. We implemented revenue share this year, but we had a few clients who locked in the rate last year and paid a deposit to start this year. And then also some of the clients that are starting this year, like we are just now getting into the months where I'm asking them for their new revenue number. So revenue share is a long-term game. Like it is not a quick like influx of cash, because typically it takes months of working together to like really see these strategies and systems and processes that we're going all in on really play out. So it's not like, hey, we start working together and the first month there's a huge influx of cash. Like that would be great, but that's just not the reality. And that's why I love this so much, is because I love being in it with my clients, and I'm not getting more money unless they're getting more money, and that does take time. And so yes, it is kind of a new stream of revenue that I've implemented, but we're not seeing the results yet. Like that takes time. So I really just want to like give you that example of myself of like, I have not changed my offer, and yet my revenue has doubled consistently every month. So I want to bring that to you just to like level set and like, give you the thing that it doesn't have to always be a new offer. It doesn't have to be like we're on the same platforms. We have Facebook, we have the Facebook group, we have Instagram. I used to have LinkedIn and I actually dropped that. We've had our email go out. Like we have been doing these things consistently like all this time. And it's just that like momentum building piece of it. So we're going to jump into the strategy pieces of this. And the two things that I want to talk about today that are, how do you make more revenue? Is basically how can you make your current service better, and how can you retain clients for years or have them come back and continue buying from them? So let's just talk about the fact that like getting new customers takes so much more time and so much more money. So we'll dive into that. Do I want to do that one now or with the next one? Maybe we'll dive into the stats for that next. But so how can you make your current service better? So what you really want to think about is like, what are you doing now? And I'll again use myself as an example. So my service has gone through different iterations. And I think it's important to say like, it's okay to keep the same basic offer and then test and tweak it as you get feedback, as people go through it. When I first started doing advisory services, I was trained with like a group program, and it was a very masculine group program. They wanted you to get payment on the phone. They said like do one meeting a month for 2 hours, and they recommended charging double what I charge now. So that's what I started off doing. I charged a much higher rate, and the people, my clients got me less, through the month. So all this, work every month was all hinged on this 1 2-hour meeting every month. And I realized that just didn't really support my clients like I wanted them to. Maybe for someone else who is more of like a buttoned up, stiff accountant business that worked. But for me and my clients, it's like they want more high touch, they want more hands-on, and that, $3,000 a month was just like a huge stretch for them. Like I totally believe in something being stretchy, but that was just too stressy. And it didn't feel like a good even exchange on my end for the work that I was putting in. Like I felt like I would need to be in their business more to make that much. So decrease the price and, had more hands-on touch points. So we have multiple meetings a month. They have access to me in between meetings on a couple of platforms. Like they can have me in their back pocket to text with. And so that is kind of the beauty of this new iteration of the work I'm doing. So really full permission to look at your offer and see like, maybe it does involve changing it. Maybe it does involve lowering the price. We always think like, oh, we're supposed to only raise our prices, but like literally look at what you're offering and see if that's the right thing. So that is my first strategy piece. I know we have some people hopping on, so we're just getting started. Let me know if you have questions. But the first thing to creating more revenue in your business is look at what you're already doing. What are you already doing well, and how can you make that better? And this is such a great piece to like get feedback from your clients, after they've used you, or if they're in a continuing relationship with you, like get those testimonials, A, for your own marketing, and B, just for like feedback purposes. It helps so much. And, I love my free calls because I'm talking to business owners and I'm really hearing them and understanding them and learning like what are their pain points and what do they want me to like talk about here or talk about in the marketing. So really thinking about how can you make what you're already doing better. So look at, one of the clients, we just got off of a call right now, and they were looking at like, we're great on the front end of our service. We provide a great service, but on the back end, we're kind of lacking in the follow-up. Like we're lacking in the, hey, how's everything doing? Is everything still working properly? Do you want to get on a maintenance plan? Like, get a testimonial. Like they're kind of dropping the ball, and they know it on that end. And so we're looking at ways and platforms that they can use to really like add a new team member basically with AI and really make sure that the ball doesn't get dropped on the back end. So kind of look at that flow of your business, like, getting the sale, keeping the sale, like where are you like a stronger position and what needs some work. Like some people, it might be the onboarding process. Like I don't onboard a ton of clients, like we're almost full, so it just doesn't happen that often, but we still have a really great process. And every time that I onboard a new person, I'm thinking like, oh, is there a way that I can do this better that gives them a better experience? And I take feedback that other clients have given me and I work that into some, what I'm doing now. One of the feedback pieces I got was that I use Teamwork. We use that as our brain, our hub. We do messages, we share files, all that. And then I also use Voxer because I want people to have like real-time support with me. And if they're not at their desk, it's really hard to use Teamwork. And so this way they can hop into Voxer and get support. And she didn't love that there were two different platforms, but like there's not really anything I can do about it because Teamwork just doesn't have that capacity yet. Like I can chat with my team members, but I can't chat with clients. That's one of those things that like, yes, it's not ideal, but like this is my workaround. And so just letting clients know on the front end, like, yeah, it would be great if Teamwork had like a chat, way to do things with clients, but right now that's not how it works. So we've got Voxer for that. And just knowing that like, okay, great feedback, good to know, but like, I literally can't do anything about it right now because I'm not changing Teamwork. And that's just such a beautiful platform for like most of the work we do to support our clients. So that just chat piece has to be like a workaround. And so really like looking at making your current service better. I'm going to try to think of some more client examples and let me know if you have a business and like you want to ideate together, like let me know kind of how you want to make your current service better. And I think really it just comes from like talking to your people because we can think on the service provider end, we can think that we have a great service and that we have a great onboarding process or a great follow-up process, whatever that is, but really talking to your customers and clients and finding out like, hey, what did you like the best? What attracted you to us? Why did you work with us over someone else? Like, is there any feedback you'd like to give? Like, that is just such beautiful information and it's such gold nuggets that if they give it to you, like, let's use it. It's not something that's like, and obviously some people might just be mad about anything. Like, I know that there are definitely customers and clients out there that like, you could provide the best service and like, they're still not going to be happy. So like, those are the outliers, but like, let's look at real people who are giving you feedback and thinking about how can you make your service better. That might be on the front end with onboarding or asking, getting their questions answered up front to let them know how it's going to go when they work with you, anything like that. And I know we have another client that does like high-end sales, like really high-end, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for a product. And so we're always looking at like making that customer journey better. They really do a lot on their end in terms of doing a ton of paperwork to save people time, really like giving them educational videos about how things work and what to do. So really thinking about like, how can you improve your service for your current customers? Because people just want to like start a new program or start a new offer or sell something new. And it's literally like, look at what you're already doing and think about how you can make that better. Now we're going to jump into how can you retain clients for years and have them buy from you again or have them continue working with you. Now I want to get into my stats. Getting new customers costs so much more time and money than having repeat customers. So I think the stats are, I asked ChatGPT, the stats are 5 to 25 times higher for new customers. So that's what it costs to get a new customer. 5 to 25 times what it takes to have a customer buy from you again or have someone renew with you. So that is huge. Like, even if you looked at the conservative piece of 5 times, I mean, like, that's just crazy. It's just a no-brainer to really want to support the people that we already are supporting. So if you think about, getting new customers and new clients, you really are having to like do more marketing and advertising. So you're creating, it's more content and you're always online. And this is stuff we kind of need to have baked into our business. But if we're always just trying to get new customers, it's just going to have that longer sales journey. Like last month, we did the masterclass of mastering your sales process. So if you are always getting new people through there, the sales journey can take weeks to a year. So that is just slowing down your results. You're also, having to do more free calls, more best fit calls. You're having to really educate and onboard people. So every time you have a new client, you're having to educate them on how you do things, how your billing works, how your meeting cadence works, anything applicable to your business, like how often you respond to your Slack messages or your Voxer messages or whatever, how long they can expect you to, invoice you beforehand or afterwards or when the delivery is going to be, and then onboarding, like some people just do a transaction and then the transaction's done. But some people, it's like, okay, we're building a whole relationship that we're going to be working together for a while. So getting you on all the platforms and getting set up with the billing, like it just is a lot. If you sell a stick of gum, then that's obviously not applicable. But some people are really, even with these high ticket sales, that, okay, the relationship doesn't necessarily end with them buying that high ticket item. The relationship continues because they might need help with services, or they might be, referring people. So like really cultivating those relationships. You don't want to just have to keep starting over. Conversion rates and time investment, like I said, it can take weeks to a year for someone to work with you. So really thinking about like, how can you have people return to you, because it's so much less time, so much less money. So most of my clients, most of them renew. We have a 6-month container and the option to renew, and 99.9% of them renew, which is amazing. And it's fun to see new layers and new levels as they grow together. But really it serves them too, because like they're not bouncing around. Like that's what I think the beauty of one-to-one coaching is so amazing, is because like I know them, I know their shit, I know their tendencies, I know that they kind of want to tap out, at the beginning of a launch, or I know that they like to kind of beat themselves up about stuff, or I know that they have kind of unrealistic expectations a lot of times, and those don't get met, and so they're disappointed. I know that they like to really focus on the numbers and the strategy, and like not really delve into the mindset work, but that's what's holding them back. And working with me is harder. Like it would be easier for them to like jump around to different coaches, or to be in a group program and like be anonymous, basically. Like no one knows your shit. No, they just know if you're showing up or not, but like they don't know if you're actually doing the work, working through your stuff. Like, are you really going all in? No one is holding you really almost accountable for that, and knowing like, hey, sometimes you can't solve a problem with calendaring or scheduling. Like what's really going on here? Like you don't have someone asking those questions, giving you reflections. So I just give my clients a ton of credit, because it is hard to show up with the same person for months and years on end at this point. Like I've been working with some people for years. I know the iterations of, team members that they have had, or employees, or, working with their spouse in a relationship. Like I know all this stuff, and it's so amazing that like they continue to keep going in, because that's what gets the results, is when they show up and keep doing this stuff and look at it instead of run away. And so that's just what I think is such a beautiful thing of working with clients for a long term. And then that can be, anything else that you sell or work with. Like my facial girl, I've been going to her for years. How many years at this point? At least 5 years. She knows my skin. She knows what my skin does at the time of year. She knows like what I ideally want. She knows which products to recommend to me. Like it's an amazing relationship, and she just knows my family. Like I know her family. Like it's just like, yeah, bring your daughter over the next time you drop off statements or whatever. Like it's just such an amazing relationship to like know someone that well. And she's my skin girl. I've been going to the same dental office. Like they know what to recommend to me for my teeth, and actually you should be coming every 4 months because their gums don't look so great every 6 months. So just thinking about like you can really serve your clients better when they buy from you over and over, because they're not having to start over with someone else. Even if it's a product like that high ticket product, if someone needs to repair it, they know what to do. They already know, the product, because they sold it, like they put it together. So they can really support the person who something broke, or, whatever happened. Like, it's just so amazing. I'm trying to think of like some other clients. We have one that does a service, and so they can really help their clients, because their clients go, and I'll want to keep this, it's kind of hard to do it, keeping it anonymous, but like their clients go through different seasons, and certain years are busier and certain years are slower. And so they kind of have a database built up. Like they're looking actually into building their own AI platform, so that they can serve their clients on more of a membership basis, because they have so much data and so much information from supporting them for so long. Like they have so much like at their fingertips that they could easily use for someone who just needs kind of a quick off service. They can pull that so easy for them. So that is just such a great way, like because they've been working with people for so long, they can kind of now create this membership service that really supports their clients when they need something, and they can benefit for working with them for years. What's another client? Let's see. We also have clients, and like myself, we when you continue to buy from the same person, you kind of get perks. So like with mine, when people buy an intensive, it can roll over into the one-to-one. So those, offers don't compete. And so it really supports them to buy from me again because, yeah, it's basically like the intensive is free. Like I just saved $500. Like, of course, it makes sense to like go with you. So look at your offers and see, like, making sure, like, okay, if someone buys something from you, it kind of feeds into the next thing so that they are building their relationship with you. Anything I want to say about that too? Okay, so the next thing, instead of a new offer, how can you improve your current offer? So this is kind of the other strategy piece. I'm looking at my notes because I don't have these memorized. And really just like coming up with a bunch of ideas. Like that's kind of the first thing. And we talked about this earlier, is like, getting market research, talking to your people, getting feedback from them, because we think that we know what's going to serve them and it just might not be what they're looking for. So really think about like, okay, give yourself examples and the free range to just like let it all out there and then see what lands. And I went through my example of like, I started with what I thought I was supposed to do. I went with this, high ticket group program. It was $9,000 and got trained to offer advisory services. But like what I'm offering now 2 years later is like 180 degrees different. And I love it so much more. And I'm so glad that I went with my gut. And I even had like guilt, y'all, for like a year. I had like almost like this fear of like, are they going to come back and find out that I'm not doing what they taught me or doing it the way they taught like that I'm supposed to do it? Like it's totally ridiculous, but it worked out so much better because my clients love the higher touch. They love the more frequent meetings. It's more, it's easier. It's still not easy. It's still an investment, but it's easier for them to invest now than it was at $3,000 a month. We provide epic, services. So like as a coach, I am also, supporting people on the back end with their bookkeeping and looking at numbers. Like we're looking at QuickBooks Online, we're looking at Google Analytics, we're looking at like Looker Studio dashboards that I build that people charge like hundreds of thousands of dollars for this shit. I'm looking at their numbers and their metrics with them. And then we are also like talking sales processes. I'm looking at their landing pages. I'm looking at their email content. Like I am also a sales coach. Like people hire other people to do this stuff. I am supporting them with their marketing. Like where are they showing up? What is their content looking like? How frequently is it going out? Like that's why I have my free call, free consistent content for consistent 5-figure months call, because like that is so important. Getting in front of your audience, getting in front of other audiences. Like, so I am doing back end numbers, metric stuff, building dashboards. I am supporting them with sales, objections, follow-ups. I'm supporting them with their sales process. I'm supporting them with content and getting visible. Like this is a package that most people would have to pay thousands and thousands of dollars separately for a business coach or advisor, for a salesperson, for a marketing team. Like this is all just coming from working with me. So like I actually save people a ton of money and they get a shit ton of value, if they show up and if they're willing to do the work and say, hey, yeah, let's look at GA4. Let's look at Looker Studio. Like, I build dashboards. Like I get people to set up Zapier accounts so we can create sales dashboards. Like that's crazy. People charge so much money for that, but I'm just like, oh, I think it's fun and I love it and it supports the work that we do. So like that all has changed, and that is not anything that I started with the advisory stuff. Like the advisory stuff that we started working together with was very cut and dry, all spreadsheets, which I still love spreadsheets. We are still eyeball deep in spreadsheets. I will never give those up. But, we do special reporting, and I got trained for this special reporting software and all this stuff. And like, I still use it, but the iteration of that package to what it is now is just so different. And my clients get just a shit ton of value more. So that is something that like I couldn't have predicted in the beginning, but I've given myself full permission, given myself full, like basically freedom to choose what I want to do, choose how I want to support my clients, choose the, investment and cadence of meetings and all that stuff, instead of just being like, well, somebody told me I was supposed to do this, so that's what I'm going to do. Like we have to give ourselves that, just freedom and flexibility to be like, okay, well, I see other people in my industry doing this, but I really feel called to do this. And I really think I can support my clients better if I do this. So like, just go there, just let yourself have free range, like ideate. If you're here, I know we have people who watch and don't comment, and that's fine. Or people, like tons of people watch the replay. feel free to leave comments. If you have a business and you want some ideas, let's think about that together. Like, how can you make your current offer better, and how can you improve that? So just thinking about that and letting your your mind go crazy and just like let it all out, let out your ideas, talk to people, but really like lean into making what you're already doing work better, because that is just like one of the biggest things I see when businesses just lean all in with what's working. That's like pouring lighter fluid on it. So figure out what's working and go all in there. So let's talk about the organization piece. So, either have clients renew or buy from you again. How can you make it easier for them to continue? So we're going to talk a few examples, which I did think about clients and wrote down examples. Let me have a sip. So the subscription services. So I just mentioned the client who's planning to create an AI model to support them and their clients pay a subscription to get access to that information. So subscriptions, I know, are like, none of this stuff is new. Like, these are all business models that have been around for forever. So it's not like I'm inventing this stuff. My clients have not invented this stuff. But think about, like, could this apply to your business? Membership services. So it's like kind of another version of the subscription service, but the membership is like, maybe I could pay a membership for my facials or massages or other personal care, or you have special VIP bookings for being in the membership, or you have access to like a special add-on treatments or something. But looking at your business, and maybe you can make it a membership. I know that's a whole thing, and this is one of those things, like, don't constantly change your business model, but think about how you can, keep your offer and your service kind of the same, and maybe do like a different iteration of this. So trade-in. So maybe if you offer like a really high ticket product, or even low ticket, have something where they can trade it in, the old model, and get a new one with a discount, or, maybe it comes with some warranty services, or, maintenance and repair for X many months, like whatever that is. Think about like, okay, trade-in offers. In my business, they're up for renewal every 6 months. So if I raise my rates, their rates stay the same. They lock in that lower rate. And with their bookkeeping, they lock that in. Like, we pretty much are not raising their rates unless, their services change, or just the volume changes, or whatever that is. They open a new revenue stream, they need a new set of books. Like, it will change then, but they're basically locked in with that rate with the 6-month renewal. I've got more examples. Like, wow, I went crazy with the examples. And then we also have a client that has like a DIY offer they're going to start doing. So it's typically an in-person service, and they've made it so that like someone can do it with them from their home. They can do it and, do it on their own, or, maybe you offer kind of like a done for you service, but maybe you're doing like a done with you service. So wedding planning, like, you plan their wedding, or you kind of have this offer where they kind of take this information and plan their own wedding and have like one meeting with you. Let's see, DIY program. I'm like, what is that note that I wrote? I don't really understand the other one, but, thinking about my local coffee shop, they have a ticket. So I get it punched when I buy coffee. There's another one for when they sell like 1 pound bags. So I have both of those. So of course I want to go back to that shop because I want them to punch my ticket. So thinking about like, could you even do that in your business? Like buying, 5 classes and then they get a 6th one free, or, even a referral program where if they refer someone, they, get a discount, or if they come back to you, they get a discount. Even like a co-op type of program. So maybe they pay a quarterly or an annual membership, and then, they get goodies from you every 6 months, 3 months, 1 month, whatever. Providing online service. So this is kind of like a membership and an online service. Like, they can do it online on their own. Like, there's so many different iterations of, subscriptions, memberships, onlines, done for you, done with you. Like, think about your offer and how you could make it even a little bit better. Maybe you have kind of this higher ticket, like item here or service, and then maybe you can make it a little more lower and accessible, and each one feeds into the other. They're not competing with each other. So the implement piece is literally like, what's holding you back? Like, what is holding you back from doing this? I was reading a book recently that was so good. It's by it's Stutz is like a psychotherapist and another guy, I can't remember their names, but it's the tools and it's amazing. And it talks about like we are basically all in a comfort zone, and that's why we don't get the results that we want. And this is just kind of like, another piece of like stuff that I've already heard before, but the way they said it was just so interesting, about like we're just constantly on this. And I think of it as a hamster wheel. They didn't say hamster wheel, but we're in this, hamster wheel of our comfort zone. And so in order to really bust through, and get to the results that we want, we really have to get uncomfortable. We really have to look at our pain. We have to look at our fears. And that is work that like my clients do with me. Or if you have a coach, do it with someone. But like getting out of your comfort zone is typically what I see that like is holding people back. Like asking what's holding you back has been like my favorite question lately, because it's not even like you need to work with me or anything like that. It's literally like such a great question. Like, I'm so curious. You should be curious. Like, what's holding you back? Like, when I look at myself, what's holding me back? Like, that is such a powerful question. And if you answer that with like pure honesty, it can give you so much juicy goodness, so that like, yeah, it probably has something to do with pain. It probably has something to do with fear. And if we can just like look at that and bust through it, then like our results, our clients, our revenue, it's just on the other side of that. Like that's just where it is. They described it as like a wall. Like here's your comfort zone and you have to bust through this wall to get to your results. And it's just so amazing to think that like so much of business is just like getting out of our own way and looking at our own bullshit and looking at our own self-limiting beliefs and the stories that we've told ourselves like over and over about what's possible or who we are. Like it's all just like mind blowing to me. And, talking with clients, and I've had people book recently who had a free call a year ago, had an intensive a year ago, and they're just so sick of their own shit. And they're just so tired of like getting in their own way and not getting the results that they want. And they had a great experience on the intensive, but like they haven't been doing any of it. And it's like, I'm not selling information. You are not selling information. Like the information is out there. It's literally like having someone support you to get through your own shit, to do what needs to be done, to get the business and the clients that you want. I mean, that's how I look at my job, is like the information is all over the place. There are books, there are live streams, there are freebies, like there's everything you could possibly need to run a successful business and have the clients that you want. But like it comes down to the implementing piece. It comes down to facing your fears and facing your pain and looking at your own shit and just being like, I am so tired of this. I'm so tired of this holding me back. I'm not willing to do this anymore, and bust through it. So if you're sitting there and you're like, implementing is just too hard for me. Like I have these ideas for this, or, I've been doing these same things and I'm not getting the results that I want. Like look at implementing and what's holding you back and like go there. Look at fear in the face, look at pain in the eyes, and just like lean into that, because that is what's going to create the epic results. And if you really want support with that, like I am here, I have a free call, free consistent content for consistent 5-figure months. And we are typically talking about getting visible in some shape or form. It doesn't necessarily need to be like, hey, we're going to come up with a content schedule. We can talk about messaging. Like it's literally like around anything in that genre. Like it depends what you need for that. But like the free call is just to literally support you of like, hey, what are some action steps you can take now? And if someone is like feeling sticky around something, it's like, okay, I totally don't want you to do anything that just is not in alignment and doesn't work for you. And what about stretching? Like, what if we can stretch? So it's like this fine balance of like, we want to be true to ourselves. We want to stay in alignment, but like, we also need to stretch. We also need to get outside of our comfort zone, because that is where the growth happens. And so I love these free calls because people just get great takeaways, because they are not cookie cutter. I'm not showing up with the same thing that I told the last 10 people. Like people are so blown away by the fact that like I am very curious about their business and I want to support them. And we are only going to be doing these calls for a couple more weeks. I'm leaving for July. Y'all are going to get replays here for the month of July and beginning of August, because I'm gone. I'm out. So be sure to book a call so that you can get some support now, because literally like the work you're doing now, the outreach you're doing, the relationships you're building, like those are the clients that you're going to have after the summer, into the fall, into December. So that is what creates your results. So looking at now your cash and clients, that's a result of work you've been doing for months and months now. And that's why I love the revenue share plan. And that's why I'm sitting here like, it is a long-term game. Like it's not like people work with me and they're like, bam, we make huge 10-figure months every month. Like it's not necessarily that. I mean, I'm here for it, totally down for that, putting it out there. But typically it takes time. And so that's why these calls are so powerful, so that you can get some action steps to take now to really get in front of your audience and make sure that you have people coming in the door, that you have those aligned clients, and that you're sharing your magic, because it doesn't do anyone any good if you're holding back and not sharing your magic. So that's all I got for today. Yeah. And, the other question I've been loving, and I wrote this down, is like, what if it works? Like, I always think of what's holding you back, and then what if it works? Like, people are so quick, and I know this is kind of a tangent, but I get it. Like, I'm not telling anyone to do anything that they don't want to do or they're uncomfortable with, but like looking at doing something uncomfortable and then thinking about like, well, what if it works? Like, because most of us, our brain goes to like it not working, us being embarrassed, getting rejection, failing, falling on our face, spending money and we don't get a return on it. Like, but what if it works? What if it helps your business blow up in a great way? Like, what if it creates you results that you never thought imaginable? So that's what I want to leave you with today. Like, what can you do in your business? This is such a side tangent from where I got started, but think about what's holding you back, and then think about like, what if I faced that pain? What if I faced that fear? What's on the other side of that? What if it works? So we'll go back to the strategy piece before I wrap this up, just to put a button on everything. So we're talking about, 2 strategies you need to steal to increase revenue this week. So we're really talking about how can you make your current service better? How can you retain clients for years and having come back to you? That's the first strategy. I had an A and B, and I didn't really make that clear. So really thinking about like, how's your current offer? And then, how do you have clients renew with you? And then instead of a new offer, how do you improve your current one? So really going all in on that. So those were the 2 strategy pieces. And then, we're looking at organizing, literally like, what kind of framework do you want to use? What kind of business model? Like, do you want to add on a little something? And then the implementation, like, get out of your own way. Like, that is like my theme. That's going to, like, I could wrap up every call, every live stream with this, is like, what's holding you back? And what if you lean into it? And what if it works? So be sure to drop me, questions, comments. I want to be here to answer your questions. I know, like I said, we get tons of replays, so I know not everyone can join at this time. So I really appreciate those of y'all who watch this, who watch the replays. Make sure to ask your questions, because I want to support you. So we will see you next week. That's all I've got for now. In the meantime, enjoy your day. Bye.